our very first episode of Good Morning Loughborough.
Welcome everybody, good morning.
I'm Lucy and this is Rafael, and we're very excited to speak to you today.
We have a great show today.
Oh, a really good show today.
So, should we start with our first guest?
Yeah, so as we know, this February is LGBTQ History Month, and so we've got a very special guest today.
Indeed.
They are part of the LGBTQ Association here at Loughborough, and they are the chair, so please welcome Valen.
Good morning, Valen. How are you doing today?
Good morning to you. I'm doing so well. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. So this month is really, really important. It's a way of celebrating the community, but also highlighting the issues and difficulties faced by the community. Why is this month so important for you?
Well, February is History Month. It happens every year, and basically it's a month in which the LGBT community focuses on the history, on our history. We want to celebrate what we have achieved so far. We also just want to have fun with our community. We do, LGBT Association does lots of events. We partner with the university, with the student union, and we just want to basically celebrate that we exist and all we have done so far.
During that point, as we know, there's about 1,500 events going on across the UK. What are Loughborough doing specifically to join in with the celebrations?
Oh my god, LGBT Association is doing so much. I swear, I'm gonna have a heart attack at the end of February. Okay, apart from the jokes, yes, we are doing a lot. Look on our social medias, like Instagram at Loughborough LGBTA, because we have a full calendar of all the events happening throughout February. As an example, Out is happening on the 11th of February. We have a screening of a queer film, Bros, in collaboration with Flix Cinema. We're gonna be giving free HIV testing for all students in Loughborough. So yeah, follow us on social media. There is all the events you want.
I just want to bring some stats now. For example, in 2021, that was the first year in over 200 years that people from the community were officially counted as part of the census.
Yeah.
Also in 2020, that was the first time that the Equality Act embraced gender and sexuality as something to be protected from discrimination. It took so long. It's just unbelievable that it's just 2 decades ago that only this started to be in place.
When I talk with people about queer rights, queer activism, some might say, oh, as LGBT people have already achieved so much. Why do you keep celebrating? Why do you keep fighting so hard? But I think that actually things have gone better, but they're not as better as some people think they are. As an example, lovely that queer people were counted in the census, but transgender people were left out of the census. Transgender people should be treated with the same respect, and they should have the same spotlight as everyone else. And change in general in history always happens little by little, and that's totally fine. But for change to keep happening, people need to keep fighting for it. We're doing very important work in Loughborough, and I just love being the chair.
Do you think Loughborough University has done a nice work protecting and promoting your community?
Oh yeah, I am actually very grateful to be so involved with this university. I feel that they have, especially some of the ideas that they had for a History Month were lovely. As an example, I am collaborating with the School of Architecture to build a queer space in Loughborough. It's gonna be It's gonna be a whole new building. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're gonna build, and this would have never been possible if the university didn't get in contact with me. I also feel that this should be kind of the norm. It's not like they're making us like a big favor, but on the other side, it's also nice to see that university is putting the effort.
And so where will this building be, do you know?
Oh, we're still deciding it, but we have like a couple of locations in mind. As an example, it might be close to the student union, or it might be close to the Garden of Remembrance. It's still in the works, let's say.
Okay, well, that's very exciting.
Yeah, well, it was lovely to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today.
No worry, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I wish you all the best.
Oh, thank you.
And good luck with your events today.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Don't suffer a heart attack.
Well, next up, we're going to be doing some daily news.
We are. So should we
move on?
Yeah, let's go. Hey, girls.
Hello.
How are we doing?
Well, thank you. You?
Very good. So I think we should start with the Grammys.
It was very eventful this year.
It was.
We had some surprises, like the Song of the Year, just like that.
I didn't know the song, I didn't know the
No, I
artist,
didn't-
but she won Song of the Year.
Yeah.
I've never heard it either.
Yeah.
No, I hadn't heard of it, but listening to it, I can understand why it won. But it was quite a surprise.
It really was. Also, Harry Styles winning Album of the Year, which was a surprise.
Yeah, a bit controversial.
So I think we need to talk about Beyonce.
Oh,
Queen Bee.
yes.
She just won her 32nd Grammy, the most ever.
Yeah,
It
most
just-
decorated Grammy artist.
It's so impressive, isn't it? Also, Lizzo, she won Record of the Year.
Yeah.
She became the first black woman winning that category since Whitney Houston. Do you have any highlights you would like to talk to us about?
Well, going back to his styles, honestly, I think he deserved it. He's been doing incredible work this entire year. But one thing I did notice when he won and he gave his acceptance speech was there was someone in the audience saying, "Oh, you don't deserve it, it's Beyonce's." And Taylor Swift stood up immediately in support and solidarity to him. It's okay, fans have the right to say whatever they want. But Adele also said that he didn't deserve it, and I found that really controversial coming from Adele. You know,
Because it's public knowledge that Adele is a massive Beyonce fan.
Yeah,
So-
because she had split her Grammy in a
She
previous year,
did,
didn't she?
yes,
To give it to Beyonce.
yes. So it's kind of understandable at some point. But talking about Adele, there was also that funny encounter with The Rock.
Oh yeah,
They're
that's
a big fan of each other, but they have never met each other. So that was quite fun. Let's talk about Sam Smith, Kim Petras.
Yes.
They won Best Pop Duos Group Performance. Kim Petras became the first openly transgender woman to win in this category. Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing,
Yeah.
We're getting there, step
Yeah,
by step.
step by step.
Things are changing. Also, Ben Affleck, he seemed bored the entire ceremony.
he was bored out of his
He
mind. There's
just,
so many
he just
memes.
became viral on social media.
There's so many memes of him and J-Lo, and he's just there like,
Yeah.
I need to hear it.
Also, Viola Davis, she just became an EGOT. Her Grammy adding to her Emmy, Oscar, and Tony.
Yeah, my goodness.
It's just what a
That's
milestone.
insane.
It's just unbelievable.
So a bit more of a serious topic. Obviously, as we know, there's been strikes going on across over 100 universities.
Yeah.
You know, lecturers fighting for certain rights that they haven't got at the moment. So what are your opinions on that?
Yeah, so they say this is a last resort for them.
Yeah.
And they're fighting for the opportunity to negotiate the salaries, pay structures, the employment conditions. What's your view on this? Are these conversations ever going to have an end?
I mean, clearly it's been quite a difficult thing for the lecturers to do upon them speaking to us. It's a difficult one, I find. As a student, there's that line of we're missing lectures, you know, missing content, vital content. But then they've got to do what they've got to do, I suppose. You know, what do you think about it?
I mean, yeah, we understand their point of view. Like, they're fighting for their rights, they're fighting for their money, they're fighting for all the hard work that they're doing. But at the same time, I feel like we're suffering the most. Speaking from an international student point of view, we pay a lot of money to come all the way overseas here to just attend lectures and talk to a lecturer and ask questions and really learn in a physical manner.
And we're not having that.
And we
Yeah,
don't
just
have
can't have
that.
that.
So it obviously understand their point of view, but I feel like we suffer a lot as students.
What do you think, Georgia?
Yeah. Also, like socially, not everybody is always going out or doing things. Like lectures are a time for people to talk to other people. And so without that, you know, it kind of is a bit difficult, especially I would think for like first year students, more so who like haven't made friends yet and connections. But I also think that like the uni has the power to kind of appease some of their demands. The uni makes so much money, so it's kind of, you know, is it the lecturer's fault really that they're continuing to do that? Something needs to happen, like the compromise needs to be made.
Yeah, and I mean, I know a few that my lecturers have said that if you are feeling this is really disrupting your learning, that you should go and contact those in a higher power to help move this process along. So, you know, that's always an option.
I mean, I just find it really funny right now that we're in first week of semester 2, and some of our modules are gonna start in week 3.
I know.
So
Yeah.
it makes me question the idea that, okay, we have coursework to do.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get an extension on that as
On
well?
all the
Because
deadlines,
because we're gonna not have 2 classes, you know. So
There's a lot of questions in the air.
questions. Yeah.
Our last topic today.
A bit more of a light-hearted one.
Oh yeah, much more. So apparently a speaker was on fire.
Yeah. So during Wes Nelson's set at Incognito, in the Students' Union, a speaker set on fire, very randomly.
Was any of you there?
Yes,
You
I
were
was
there?
there. I was there.
Tell us about it.
It was a great night. I really enjoyed it. Notes was meant to be playing, but Wes was there. I still enjoyed it. But yeah, the speaker went became a light, But you know what? They dealt with it very well. The very calm, big security guard just was like, "This is nothing. Let me just take it outside."
I saw the footage.
Yeah.
It was so calm. When you said you had to do it, so.
And people didn't really seem to be afraid either. Like they were just like, "Oh, speaker's on fire." There we go.
I guess that takes us straight into our debating topic.
Yes. So let's talk about the best night out in Loughborough. Which one do you think is the best night out in Loughborough?
I would argue, from my perspective now, that Firefly is the best night out. You can pay at the door, which is great. It's cheaper, you know. Some places now Echo's £11 if you want a ticket. Sometimes you get a good like variety of people. I think not just freshers or final years. You get loads of different, you know, year groups and things. And also, like, the aesthetics are better. The brick wall, the lights, they take pictures as well. And I, like, really value, you know, that kind of thing. I'm going to say Firefly. It just seems as well a bit cleaner, maybe, than the other, like, Echoes.
That's where I'll jump in and say I go with Echoes, because even though it's gruesome and the floors are disgusting and there was, like, a chicken found on it, whatever it is, and the bathrooms might be disgusting, whatever it is, but it's all part of the vibe. Like, the music is so good, and if you drink enough, you're not gonna care about the floors, in my opinion. I do like Firefly.
Yeah.
I do like it, but I don't like the stairs to go down the bathroom, because I feel like you're gonna fall down somehow. But Echoes, I think one reason why I strongly like it is because there's two entrance times. So you can enter at like 12:30 normal club time, or you can enter at 2 a.m., which is really nice, because what if you're like last minute, you're like, you know what, I want to go. You can go at 2 a.m. and stay until 4 a.m. and it's always going to be a vibe.
And yeah, so as a first year student, I quite like a union night, so you know, Hey You, FND, all of that.
Yeah.
As third year students with a bit more experience, what would you say out of the union nights is the best?
So we've experienced, I think, pre-COVID and post-COVID union nights and campus nights.
There are lots of difference.
There is.
Big difference.
There's a big difference.
Yeah.
There's a big difference because, well, one of the biggest differences, you guys have seasonal passes now. In our first year, we had something called Platinum. It's basically like seasonal pass, but it gives you a separate line to enter from. So you enter from that separate line and you're in, and a lot of people bought Platinum passes.
Yeah, everybody had it.
And it just made it more fun.
Yeah, there was not a capacity issue like there is now. It's the ticket buying for me. Like, usually would decide at the pre's whether I was going out or not. You can't really do that now. And there's the whole, you know, buying and selling tickets, and people would decide they don't want to go last minute and they've already spent their money. It just makes it a lot harder to kind of go, and that's why I haven't really been. In terms of nights out, Hey You, FND, I used to look, when I was in first year, Hey You was like my favorite. I loved a Wednesday because you had Thursday and Friday to kind of discuss, and you would see people in your lectures or in your halls and stuff, and you can like do your debrief. Whereas at the week, if you go out on a Friday, Saturday morning, people are going home, they're sleeping in, you miss out on that little extra bit.
I was more of an F&D girl. Even pre-COVID, I was an F&D girl, like in our first year and even last year, just because you have, I feel like Hey You, sometimes you don't have all 3 rooms open. Now and F&D, it's just a different crowd. It's a crowd that's ready to let go of the week and, you know, go crazy and lose it, you know. But one thing I do have a lot of issue with as a final year student with F&D and Hey You is we feel old. We feel old. Like we feel the third year spirit in us. We feel that, you know what, we're third years. Like second year, you're fine. All of this year okay, but this year especially.
I found that when I went to Cogs, I loved it. Now that I'm in final year, I don't really drink as much. You know, I used to always, when I was going to the union, I'd be drunk, and that was so fun. But as everything, you know, we grow up and whatever. But so I didn't get as drunk, which was quite nice. I just enjoyed the music. But people were asking me like, oh, what year are you in? Oh, final year. Oh, how old are you? And I'll be like, I'm 21.
And they have to look. You tell them finally, and they're like, oh, okay.
Well, thank you very much. It was lovely to have you here.
You guys are brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We're going to be moving on to a sports segment.
We are.
Next. Yeah, I'm going to be speaking to Bethan.
Let's go.
So let's go over.
Morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I am brilliant. How are you?
Good.
Really good, thank you.
So, as we know, sport never stops enough, but there's always something happening.
Oh, yes.
So, what would you like to highlight?
Well, like you said, what is not going on? There is so much going on campus at the moment. We are right in the heart of Bucks. There's plenty going on outside of Bucks as well. Yeah, it's just, it's Loughborough, it's sport. That's what we're all about.
Talking about Bucks, what can you tell us about the Bucks?
So, we're chasing our 42nd Bucks victory.
Ooh. Wow.
Okay. For 41 years in a row, Loughborough has won, and we do not want to break that streak.
No.
At the moment, we are in second place, slightly behind Nottingham, but second place, we're quite comfortable there.
Yeah.
But there's plenty going on to make up that gap. I mean, just this weekend we had gymnastics. The women's team took Bucks gold. Basketball, both our men's and women's first teams have won the Northern Premier League. Those are amazing success that are that's pushing us forward. And then we've got lots to look forward to as well. We've got swimming, long course. We've got athletics events. That's where we do really do well, and we pick up all those points.
Anything else do you like to add?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty going on outside of Bucks. A lot of sporting excellence to celebrate on campus. So at the moment, we've got the men's Six Nations going on, and at the same time, the under-20s men's Six Nations runs alongside that. And Loughborough have got 3 students that are going to play for England. So Finn Carnduff, Tim Hoyt, and Charlie Bracken. They've all been selected for upcoming matches, and I think that is just brilliant because you've got all that young talent and they're right here, and who knows, they could be England stars of the future.
Yeah, we could be walking past them.
Yeah, and I mean we've already had students that are now playing full senior international matches. So Freddie Stewart, he's representing England, the fullback, and then Thibaut Flamont, who is representing France. And I mean, have you heard his story?
Oh, I haven't actually.
No, so he's I don't know, 6'5". Really tall. He came to Loughborough and as a fresher he wanted to join rugby. He was a fly half and he started right in the bottom team. Played the first season, and then the coaches saw something and said, right, we're going to move you positions. We think you'll do well as a lock. So yeah, he worked his way up through the teams. He then got a place at Wasps Academy, started playing for them, moved back to France where he lives, and now he's starting for the French national team. And I think that just proves how
never give
amazing, never give up. Something else that's really exciting is we've got the Lightning franchise on campus. So we've got the 5 women's sports teams that are doing a lot of great stuff. So, for example, the wheelchair basketball team, they were the British Women's Wheelchair Basketball Premier League champions last year. Their season has started at the start of January, and they're already 2 from 2. They are well on their way to defending their title.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, that's what we like to hear.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. One interesting thing I did notice this week is Loughborough Lightning Cycling. One of their team members, Alice Lethbridge, she's competing in the UCI Esports Championships.
What's that?
Okay. Yeah,
So basically a virtual cycling event, a cycling race. So they go out, they go into a big room, LEDs everywhere, and they use Zwift to race against each other. So they're there set up on their static bikes, cycling away, and it's 3 tough endurance races. And it's like a knockout, so you go to round 1 and half people get knocked out, round 2, half people get knocked out. So yeah, it's cycling but without battling the elements of outside, the outside weather.
Do you think that sort of virtual competition is going to become something of the future, something more regular?
Yeah, I definitely do. I mean, a lot of narrative now is around sustainability and climate change, and a lot of these global sports events, so Formula 1 for example, they are flying all around the world, and it is emitting a lot of carbon and contributing to global warming, and people are becoming more and more aware of that. So I think instead of taking the event global, they've got everyone in one place at one venue racing virtually. That sort of it reduces that, and also I don't know, it's just a bit different. It takes sport into the modern age. In terms of events that the university have put on, so we've recently had the Talk Sport conference both in Loughborough and at Loughborough University London campus, and both of those days were very successful. It was a chance for all of us as students to go and get a bit of career advice on sport and talk to some alumni that have been there, done that, and now can help us in the future and tell their story. And actually, coming up at the end of March, we've got the Black in Sports Summit. This event was founded last year by some students in Loughborough. It was held in Loughborough on the campus, and it was an amazing event, really inspirational, really empowering, lots of black people in sport, again, telling their stories and helping the next generation. This year, it's it's blown up. It's going to be huge. It's being held at the London Stadium.
Okay.
In the Olympic Park. Yeah, so massive. And they've got the partnership of Sky. So got some amazing speakers going down. And yeah, I think it just shows how important events like this are.
No, definitely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We've
That's all right,
definitely
you're
learned a
welcome.
lot. So now moving on to an exciting segment.
Very exciting. So our friend here from LSUTV, Robbie, he will be in charge of an entire segment,
Yes.
isn't
We've given him like free rein.
he? He can do anything he wants.
And he's going to be highlighting a certain spot in Loughborough that he feels that you guys should know about.
Yeah, so let's have a look.
Hello and welcome to Robbie's Corner. So this part of the show is basically when we tour a random part of campus and see what it's all about. So every week a different part of Loughborough's campus will become Robbie's Corner. And this week we're at the Lounge. So formerly Cognito. The Lounge is a beautiful area in our Students' Union building, which, yeah, on nights out used to play R&B music. It was a great place to be. You know, I really used to enjoy it on my nights out, but now it's this beautiful coffee shop-esque type place. It truly is a beautiful place to be on campus, and you can order coffee here, you can get a nice breakfast. It truly is a good place to spend your time on campus. There's a bar here which opens up, you can get cocktails. I know, right? Can't believe it either. This place is so classy now. This is a stage which is often used for a sort of, open mic events. So every now and again, there'll be someone singing. Some of them are good, some of them maybe not so good, but that's part of the fun. And what else have we got? We got all kinds of seats. It's a great place to study if, you want to do that at university. A lovely LSU media promotional video over there. And in true Robbie's Corner fashion, we have to come to the corner booth. This is a lovely place to chill out, enjoy your time. And for today, this is Robbie's Corner. Thank you very much for watching, and back to the studio.
Thank you so much, Robbie. That was amazing, wasn't it?
Brilliant, yeah.
We want to start doing something now in every episode.
A bit more interactive.
Yes, which is to present a weekly riddle. And so then everybody at home can go on our social media and share what they think the answer is.
Today's riddle is, I reach for the sky, but clutch to the ground. Sometimes I leave, but I'm always around. What am I?
What do you think? Make sure to go on our social media, share your answers.
share your
Next episode we'll go back to this and
Give you the answer.
Yes.
That's the end of our first episode.
It is!
Oh my goodness, it's been such an amazing day today. We've had some great speakers.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody so much for joining us.
yeah, we hope you really enjoyed it. And we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.
Bye everybody!
Bye.